Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Well, there's going to be a lot of excitement in Boston tonight. Jimmy, who is the president of the Boston chapter of the Marie Wilson Fan Club, will be thrilled to hear we have an episode of My Friend Irma. This was originally broadcast March 1st, 1948.
Lever Brothers Company, makers of Swan, the soap with the exclusive super creamed blend, presents
Our Friend Swan
with My Friend Irma.
Starring Marie Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane.
Friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, theirs will still be hot. My friend Irma.
You know, living with Irma Peterson is a great education. You never know what you're going to learn next. For instance, the other evening when I came home, Irma had rolled up our carpet and placed it on the bed. So, naturally, I said, honey, why did you put the rug on the bed? And Irma said,
I read that a carpet wears longer if it has a nap.
So I said pleasant dreams to you both. You see, I understand Irma because she takes everything literally. For instance, someone told her a man's home is his castle. So when she and Al get married, she wants an apartment with a drawbridge. But then right now I'm much too happy to worry about Irma's shortcomings because on this lovely Saturday morning, little Jane Stacy got herself a raise. So I'm going to celebrate by taking Irma to a matinee this afternoon. She should be at her desk in Mr. Clyde's office.
Milton J. Clyde, attorney at law, whom shall I say is speaking?
Honey, it's me. It's me, Jane.
Oh, hello, Jane.
Gee, you sound tired, sweetie. What's the matter?
I've been typing all morning. My feet are killing me.
I don't understand.
Well, you know that bell that rings when you get to the end of a line? Well, I keep thinking there's someone at the door. I've been getting up every 10 minutes.
Yeah. All right, honey, I'll take it up with the Remington people. Irma, I have good news for you. We're going to the theater this afternoon to celebrate because Richard just gave me a raise.
Oh, Jane, I'm so happy for you. Gee, I can't understand why Mr. Clyde doesn't give me a raise.
Well, honey, maybe it's because your spelling is so bad.
Oh, my spelling is getting better. Remember how I used to spell Philadelphia with an F?
Yeah, I remember.
But I know that's wrong. It's PHF.
You know, Irma, it isn't only a secretary's work that gets a girl a raise. It's learning to anticipate the boss's needs, you know, seeing that he gets the things he wants most.
Oh, but that won't get me a raise, Jane.
Why won't it?
Mr. Clyde always says what he wants most is a new secretary.
No, honey. What I mean is, well, now take the things that I do for Richard, for instance. When he hasn't got time for his personal shopping, I try to help him. I buy his cigars and handkerchiefs, and once in a while I get him a necktie. Can't you think of anything Mr. Clyde needs?
Well, I think he'd like some eyeglasses because every time he talks to me, he wants to know if I'm all there.
Oh, Irma.
Miss Peterson, I'm waiting to give you dictation. Will you please get off the phone and come in?
What were you going to say, Jane?
Irma, wasn't that Mr. Clyde's voice? Didn't he call you?
Yes, but it's all right. I waved back at him.
Well, honey, you better find out what he wants. I'll be by for you at noon, huh? We'll have lunch and then we'll go to the matinee.
Miss Peterson, how many times must I tell you that when I call you, I don't want you waving at me as if I were leaving on the Queen Mary?
Yes, sir. Goodbye, Jane. I was just talking to Jane, you know, my roommate.
Miss Peterson, I'm trying to run an office around here, a law office, understand? And I insist on having cooperation. Kooperation. Oh, good heavens, now I'm spelling it the way you do. Just get your notebook and come into my office right away.
All right. Mr. Clyde, have you noticed how much more efficient I'm getting?
Efficient? How?
Oh, you only asked me to bring my notebook, but I was the one who thought to bring a pencil, too.
Amazing. Now, listen, I'm going to dictate a letter that must be kept strictly confidential. I don't want it to get any further than this office. Understand?
Oh, you can trust me. I'll put it with all the other letters you told me should never go any further than this office.
What do you mean? Haven't you been mailing those letters?
Of course not. I hid them all under the filing cabinet.
What? Oh, no. No. Oh, no. No.
Mr. Clyde, aren't you feeling well?
Oh, no.
Well, in that case, I'll wait until tomorrow to ask you for a raise.
A raise?
Yes, I've been with you for a year, and I'm only getting $35 a week, and I don't think it's enough.
Miss Peterson, I think it's more than enough for what you do in this office.
Oh, that's because you never give me a chance. I try. I may not be the smartest girl, but I try. I know you're convinced that I'm an utter idiot, but please, if you'll just give me a chance to prove it. Let me help you. Let me do personal things for you. I'll get it, sir. Hello? Who? Hubert Tailoring? It's for you, Mr. Clyde.
Thank you, Miss Peterson. That'll be all for now.
Yes, sir.
Hello? Oh, hello, Hubert. What time will my tuxedo be ready? Not until 5. Oh, it's no good. It's extremely urgent that I get it tonight because I'm addressing the Bar Association. Can you deliver it? You can't. Oh, that's bad. Well, I'll manage to have it picked up somehow. Thank you, Hubert. Goodbye. Miss Peterson, will you come in here for a minute, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Clyde.
Miss Peterson, you have just gotten through telling me that you'd like to do personal little things for me. Well, this is your opportunity. I know it's Saturday afternoon and you're off, but I happen to be in the spot.
Well, what is it, Mr. Clyde? I'll be happy to do anything.
Miss Peterson, please, you don't have to curtsy. Just listen. I want you to take this $135 and go over to Hubert's Tailoring on Park Avenue and pick up my suit for me.
Yes, sir.
It'll be ready at 5 o'clock. I need it to wear when I'm addressing the Bar Association tonight. Now, bring it to me at the athletic club. Now, have you got that straight?
Yes.
Good. What did I say?
You want me to pick you up at the athletic club at 5 o'clock and take you to a bar? No, Miss Peterson. Just pick up my suit. Here's the money. Oh, now I've got it straight. I'll pick up the suit at 5 o'clock and bring it to the athletic club.
Fine.
Mr. Clyde, do you think I'm doing doing a thing like this might help me get a raise?
We shall see. I've got to run along now. Please don't let me down, Miss Peterson. Goodbye.
You can trust me. Gee, I better count the money. 10, 20, 40, 80, 100, 10, 135.
Hi, honey.
Oh, hello, Jane.
Hey, where'd you get all that money?
Well, I have to pick up Mr. Clyde's suit at the tailor's at 5.
Oh, gee, honey, you won't be able to go to the theater with me.
I know, Jane, but this may lead to a raise.
Yeah, that's right, honey. A job's a job.
What play are you going to see?
Streetcar named Desire.
Well, I don't mind missing it so much. I think if you've seen one streetcar, you've seen them all.
Hello, Jane. Hiya, chicken.
Hi, Al.
Hello, Al, honey.
Just dropped by to take you out to lunch. Oh, by the way, Jane, I just remembered I owe you $2. I'd like to pay you now if you can cash my unemployment check.
Yeah. All right, Al, I'll cash it.
Here you are. It's all endorsed.
So I see. Al, what's the idea of that gold star next to your name?
Got it for never being late. Well, chicken, what are your plans for this afternoon?
Well, I was going to the theater with Jane, but I can't because I have to work.
On Saturday afternoon?
Yes, Al.
Well, don't worry, chicken. Your working days are only temporary. Pretty soon, Little Al will look after you.
Oh, sure. Sure, just as soon as one of his deals comes through, like painting noodles gray and selling them for rubber bands. Great provider. I'll see you tonight, Irma. Good night, Al.
You know, she's a little more snooty than usual today, Chicken. How come?
Well, she got a raise, Al, and I'm going to get one, too.
You are? What happened?
Well, Jane does personal things for Richard, and now I've got my chance to do personal things for Mr. Clyde. I'm picking up a suit for him at Hubert's Tailoring at 5 this afternoon.
Well, how'll that get you a raise?
Well, when you do little things like that for your boss, you're indispensable.
Chicken, that's the wrong approach. A messenger boy does the same thing. That man is treating you like you're nothing. Running errands will get you no place. It's the personal touch that counts.
Personal touch? Well, that's what Jane said, but that's what I'm doing.
No, Chicken. Knew a fella named Sam. Worked for a big corporation. Was getting nowhere. Then Sam decided to use the personal touch. And one morning, he started coming in and slapping the boss on the back. Well, gradually, the boss's back started caving in. Before you knew it, Sam was head of the company.
But Al, this is an important errand. After all, Mr. Clyde entrusted me with $135 to pay for the suit.
Chicken, I repeat, what you're doing a messenger boy could do. But we can change this entire thing into a golden opportunity for you.
How?
Have seen the type of suit your boss wears. Nothing. No class. Got it. We'll show you how to get in real good with your boss. You not only get him a better suit, but you also save him money. Then he'll know that you're not only a great secretary, but also have a shrewd mind.
But Al, do you think I can fool him like that?
Only with my help.
Well, what do you suggest, Al, honey?
Do not go to Hubert's. We'll spend the afternoon shopping and pick up a real bargain.
Al, the suit has to be extra special because he's going to wear it when he speaks before the Bar Association tonight.
Chicken know just what he needs for the Bar Association. No one has had as many lawyers around him as I have. Leave it to me. When I'm finished with your boss, you will be starting on a new career.
Oh, Al, you're a darling. You know, sometimes I feel so empty inside, and then you put ideas in my head, and it feels solid again.
Oh, March 1st, 1948, Marie Wilson, My Friend Irma on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
This is an urgent news alert from the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. The war in Ukraine is a humanitarian crisis Europe has not seen since World War II. Yael Eckstein, President and CEO of the Fellowship.
The Fellowship is providing food to the hungry, clothing to the naked, medicine for those who need it. Pray with us because these are lives that are at stake.
Learn more about the work of the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews in Ukraine at ifcj.org/crisis.
You've heard us talk about the luxurious Giza Dream sheets from MyPillow. Well, now they're on sale, 60% off as low as $39.99. Lots of other overstock items and a free copy of Mike Lindell's book, What Are the Odds from Crack Addict to CEO, with any purchase, but you've got to use my promo code USA. Go to mypillow.com, the Radio Listener Square, use my promo code USA or call 1-800-951-8175. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of Marie Wilson and My Friend Irma, March 1st, 1948.
Well, I just got home from seeing A Streetcar Named Desire. Since everything here looks quite normal, I know that Irma hasn't been here yet. You see, Irma uses a code to let me know what she's doing. For instance, if I come home and I find a cup of coffee and a pair of shoes on the pillow, that's to let me know she couldn't sleep because she had coffee, so she's gone for a walk. Hello?
Hello. Is Irma Peterson there?
No, she's not. This is Jane Stacy, her roommate. Who's this?
This is Mr. Clyde.
Oh, yes, Mr. Clyde. What can I do for you?
Miss Stacy, do you know where Irma is?
No. The last I saw of her, she was going to pick up a suit for you.
Well, it's 5 o'clock, and I just called Hubert's, and she hasn't picked it up yet.
Oh, well, I'm quite sure she will.
Well, I hope so, because I'm in a steam bath now, and I set my other suit of clothes to be clean, and I cannot address the Bar Association with the proper dignity in my shorts. You understand?
Well, Mr. Clyde, if Irma said she'd pick up your suit, her word is as good as gold. Goodbye. And this explains why they've devaluated the franc. Oh, where on earth could Irma be? Irma! Irma!
Al, it's 5 o'clock and we still don't have a suit for Mr. Clyde. Maybe we ought to pick it up at Hubert's.
Chicken, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I've saved the best for the last. This is a place they tell me is real classy. Let's go in.
Yes, and what can I do for you?
We'd like to see some suits.
Certainly, for your husband?
No, my husband and I aren't married yet. I mean, this is for someone else.
All right, now, what did you have in mind? Could you describe the gentleman?
Yes, he has gray hair, belongs to the Bar Association, and he's married. Do you think he ought to have pleats?
Please, chicken.
Madam, let us start all over again. Can you tell me what size the gentleman wears?
Well, what size do you wear?
I'm a 38.
I'm a 12, and Mr. Clyde is built more like you. Of course, if he built like me, he'd be Mrs. Clyde.
Madam, there are other customers waiting.
Chicken, let me handle it. See, I'll have to take the initiative myself. Friend, have you got a suit something like the one I've got on?
Oh, yes, I remember that particular model. It was very popular during the Charleston craze.
Well, admit it ain't society brand, yet it's in great demand with a particular set. Notice it's very snug, yet an ace will go up the sleeve without touching the lining.
Please, I wish you'd decide that there are other customers waiting.
Wait a minute. See the one we need. That brown herringbone with the triangular checks. What are you asking for it?
$100.
What are you taking for it?
50.
Sold for 35.
Thank you. I'll wrap it up.
Hello?
Hello, Miss Stacy. This is Mr. Clyde.
Oh, Mr. Clyde, I haven't heard from Irma, but I'm sure she'll be at the athletic club with a suit any minute now.
Miss Stacy, it may be too late. The suit probably won't fit me. I've been in the steam bath for so long, I think I've lost 20 pounds.
Oh, Mr. Clyde, please have patience. Sit tight.
Sit tight. I can't. I've already been fricasseed, barbecued, and sautéed. How much steam can a man take?
Oh, well, I don't mean to be personal, Mr. Clyde, but why don't you get a massage?
I've already had 3. It's not a question of keeping him trim. It's a question of getting out of here. I've got to make that speech tonight.
Yes. Well, if anything develops, I assure you that you'll be the first one we'll get in touch with.
Please hurry. I've been in this bath so long, I may do my entire speech in Turkish.
Oh, Mother. Where is that Irma? Oh, there you are, Irma. Your boss is in a steam bath at the athletic club waiting for you to bring the suit from Hubert's. You take it over there immediately.
Oh, but Jane, we bought him a different suit and saved him money. Oh, it's so cute. Here, I'll show you. I'll put on the jacket. Well, how do you like it?
Irma, I can only say one thing. You may think that's a man's jacket, but you look like you walked past the Waldorf Astoria and the canopy fell on you.
But, Jane, it's herringbone.
Al, I've seen herringbone, but this is the first time I've ever seen it filleted. And for your further information, Mr. Clyde happens to be waiting for a tuxedo.
Huh?
Tuxedo? Oh, Al, then he won't look right in those knickers.
Listen, if the two of you know what's good for you, you'll get on that phone and call Hubert's and grab a cab and pick up the suit that Mr. Clyde ordered.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Will do.
Oh, Irma, tell me something. How can you let Al talk you into things like this?
But I wanted to save Mr. Clyde money. I wanted to do personal things for him.
Honey, he wants to address the Bar Association tonight. He couldn't wear this suit on Halloween.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Al, you've said hello enough. Start talking.
Looks like we're in trouble, chicken. There's no answer. Hubert's must be closed.
Oh, well, of course it's closed. It's after 5:30.
I'll get it. Hello?
Hello. Is this Irma Peterson?
Yes?
This is Mr. Clyde.
I'm sorry, this phone is temporarily out of order. I'll report it. Goodbye.
Oh, no. Irma, now now you're through and you'll lose your job.
But, Jane, we're only trying to save him money.
Sweetie, if you don't get him his suit or a reasonable facsimile, you'll be in real trouble. Now, let's think.
But all the stores are closed.
I know.
Chicken, when you're under pressure like this, there's only one man who can help us.
Oh, Al, that's ridiculous.
Who, Al?
Who else but... Hello, Joe? Al, got a problem. Must have a tuxedo. What do you mean it's easy? Don't you know all the stores are closed? Oh, with you, that's no problem.
Now, hold it, Al. You're not stealing a tuxedo.
Just feeling the man out. Look, Joe, must have a tuxedo if only for the night. Do you have one? Oh, you loaned yours to Honest Louie. Yeah, but I thought... Oh, no, Joe, we can't dig him up just for that.
Al, will you quit talking to Joe? Let's rent a tux, huh?
Thanks, Joe, but must check other angles. So long.
Oh, dear. Now, let me think. Where can we get a tuxedo at this time of night? Irma, I just can't understand you.
Now, don't pick on me, Jane. I admit I'm not perfect.
Oh, honey, when you say you're not perfect, it's like Jesse James admitting he's not a choir boy. Oh, Irma, that poor man is waiting. Your job is right out of the window if we don't get him a tuxedo.
Come in.
It's only me, Professor Kropotkin. Hello, Janie and Irma, my two little daffodils. One a little dilly, one a little daffy.
From March 1st, 1948, Marie Wilson and My Friend Irma on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion after these messages.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of My Friend Irma, starring Marie Wilson, March 1st, 1948.
Professor, you're wearing a tuxedo.
Certainly. On Saturday nights at the Gypsy Tea Room, it's strictly formal. We even leave the tails on the fish. Why do you ask?
Well, I was supposed to pick up a tuxedo for my boss, and there was a little mistake, and the place is closed, and I may lose my job.
Got an idea. Professor, could you loan us your tux just for the night? It'll sure help Chicken.
Oh, Al, we can't ask the professor for his tuxedo. He needs it for his work.
No, please, Jenny. I'm the better judge of that. If my little Irma is in trouble, I must help her. So if it helps Irma, she can have the tuxedo. So I don't go to work tonight. After all, money isn't everything. What kind of a stupid saying is that?
Yeah, but your job, Professor...
Oh, who cares? After all, am I indispensable? So someone else will read fortunes, someone else will wash dishes, someone else will wait on tables, someone else will play the violin, someone else will wash the floor, someone else... You know something? I'll be glad for the vacation. I've been working too hard.
Gee, that's just wonderful of you, Professor. It may save Irma's job.
Gee, Professor, I sure appreciate it.
Anything for you, my darling. Al, come upstairs. If you'll excuse the expression, to my room. I'll take the tuxedo off, and you can take it to Irma's boss.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. The professor's a much thinner man than Mr. Clyde.
Not anymore. Mr. Clyde's been in that steam room too long. Well, Irma and I had dinner and we washed the dishes. I tried to explain to her that she shouldn't go to the movies with Al and be completely at ease because I have a feeling that her career at Milton J. Clyde's office is near an end. After all, even if the professor's tuxedo saved the night, Irma will be a dead pigeon on the following day. So I tactfully suggested that Irma resign before she's fired. So now she's writing her letter of resignation.
Jane, how does this sound? Dear Mr. Clyde, inasmuch as I don't expect to be with you much longer because we don't see eye to eye, I would like to ask a favor of you. If anyone ever asks for a reference on me, please remember you're describing a lady and don't say anything. Regards, your ex-secretary, Irma Peterson.
Come in.
Good evening, Miss Peterson. I was in the neighborhood, so I decided to drop in and tell you something.
Now, just a minute, Mr. Clyde. There's no need to be sarcastic. Irma's realized her mistake, and she's ready to resign, and I won't let you abuse her.
Abuse her? I've come here to give her a raise.
A raise? What do you mean?
That tuxedo you gave me. I was making my speech before the Bar Association, and it was getting duller by the minute. They were all falling asleep on me. I was mortified. Suddenly, I raised my hand to make an emphatic gesture, and the shirt front lit up and said, "Fortunes read 50 cents." Well, from then on, I was the hit of the party. And believe me, any secretary who can anticipate her boss's predicaments is certainly worth more than $35 a week.
Oh, Mr. Clyde, do you mean you're going to give me a raise?
Yes. What do you think you're worth?
Well, I'm getting $35 a week now. I think I'm at least worth $100 a month.
Oh, Mother. Despite the fact that Irma's in good again with her boss, I warned her never to pry into his personal life again. This time she's taking my advice seriously. In fact, the other day, Mr. Clyde tripped and knocked himself unconscious. And I said, "Well, honey, why didn't you throw water on him?" And Irma said,
"Well, if buying a suit is too personal, certainly giving him a bath is worse."
And you know, when you get an answer that's all wet like that one, it's bound to come from my friend Irma.
March 1st, 1948, My Friend Irma on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just two of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
Now on Classic Radio Theater, we have Part 5 of the 5-part yours truly Johnny Dollar story, The Fathom Five Matter. Originally broadcast March 2nd, 1956, and the story about a dead man.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar? Yes, just a moment. It's for you, Mr. Dollar.
Thanks. Johnny Dollar.
Barney Wilson here. Your hotel told me where to locate you.
I'd rather you located that car.
All the police agencies in the state have the license number and description. It'll turn up.
Well, the sooner the better.
It'll take more than a car to prove William Markey is still alive.
The dealer who sold it to him identified his photograph.
All right, but he bought the car 2 weeks ago. We know he was alive at that time. In case you've forgotten, Mr. Dollar, the Fathom Five sank only 4 days ago. That's when Markey was murdered.
Okay. We're not going to settle it by arguing.
That's why I phoned. It's going to be settled tomorrow morning.
You've petitioned for a hearing?
10 o'clock in Judge Campbell's chambers.
You're making a mistake.
See you in court, Mr. Dollar.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. From Special Investigator Johnny Dollar, location Miami Beach, to the Home Office, Delta Liability, Hartford, Connecticut. Assignment, the Fathom Five Matter. The case of a cruiser mysteriously sunk off the Florida coast. I phoned the insurance company's legal counsel and told him that Wilson had petitioned a hearing to have William Markey declared legally dead. Then I rejoined Mrs. Markey in the study. She was tense and on edge, pacing the floor and smoking nervously. I watched her a moment without saying anything, fully aware of her beauty and appeal, and fully convinced also that she and her missing husband were trying to swindle my company out of $75,000 in life insurance. I felt a little sorry for Markey. She must have been a pretty expensive luxury for a man who was going broke. But then I stopped feeling sorry. I remembered that they'd tried to set up young Danny Haynes as the fall guy for murder.
Well, why don't you go ahead and say it?
Say what?
Whatever it is you're thinking.
I thought I'd already said it, and pretty bluntly, too.
You made some wild accusations.
Not so wild. I've got some fairly solid facts to back them up.
Apparently the DA's office doesn't agree with you. Wasn't that Mr. Wilson on the phone?
That's right.
And didn't he say he would ask the court to declare my husband legally dead?
He's going to try to, but we'll stop him cold. He hasn't got a leg to stand on.
Well, that's what you're hired for, isn't it? To find some technicality so they can get out of paying off on a policy?
Attempted fraud isn't exactly a technicality, Mrs. Markey. Now, I'll repeat that advice I just gave you. Get in touch with your husband. Tell him the scheme is off. It won't work. And don't file a claim for that life insurance.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? You'd just love to bluff me out of $75,000.
No. I just kind of hate to see you go to prison, that's all. And that's exactly what is going to happen if you file that claim.
You keep talking about some scheme. What scheme, Mr. Dollar?
You want it laid right on the line, huh?
I'd just like to know what you're talking about.
And just how much I've figured out. All right, I'll paint it for you in black and white. Your husband was broke, flat broke. I'm not guessing there. I got a report on him from a financial investigator in New York.
I knew nothing about his business affairs.
That I wouldn't know. Anyway, he thought he saw a chance to pull off a swindle on the basis of the only thing he had left, that $75,000 life insurance policy. So the two of you worked it out together.
Did your financial investigator tell you that? Or would you be guessing?
Your husband bought a car under an assumed name and probably rented living quarters somewhere in the area under another assumed name. So it was all set. It was just a matter of waiting for a morning when a heavy fog was down.
You have a fantastic imagination.
Meantime, just in case the accident theory didn't go over, you kept playing young Haynes along so it would seem as though he had a motive for murder. And that part was a cinch. He was already halfway in love with you.
You also have a rather nasty imagination.
So finally, 4 days ago, conditions were just right. Your husband took Haynes out on that fishing trip in the Fathom Five. He anchored the cruiser and sent Haynes off along the reef in the dinghy. Then he set fire to the boat, opened the seacock so it would be sure to sink. He swam ashore and drove off in the car that he'd bought for exactly that purpose.
As I understand it, Mr. Dollar, that cruiser was anchored a mile or two offshore. Are you actually suggesting my husband swam that distance?
You mean that's something else you supposedly didn't know about?
What?
Oh, that report from New York was more complete than you seem to realize. William Markey has been a member of the Greenpoint Athletic Club for years. He won silver cups in the Long Island Sound Marathon Swim 3 different times.
I knew he belonged to the club, of course, but I assumed it was more social.
Of course he could swim that far. That particular talent was probably what gave him the idea for the whole thing.
There's no proof, you know. Not one bit of real proof.
There will be, if you try to collect that insurance. We'll turn up enough proof to reach all the way from here to the state prison. So if you try to...
Will you excuse me, please?
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back.
I lit a cigarette and waited for her, wondering why I even bothered to come here. I was fed up with it, sick of the whole thing. Fraud cases are like that, messy and dirty. You see people with a mask down and you get a look inside. And you get to wondering if everybody's like that. Wondering if you'd be like that yourself, maybe, if the price were right. And if you are, you hope you never find it out. All I wanted at the moment was to leave the house, wind the thing up, and get out of town.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dollar. It was somebody looking for an address. I mean, they had a wrong address.
I see.
Well, I think we at least understand each other now.
Yeah, I'm sure we do.
And I can say only one thing. You're wrong. You're completely and absolutely wrong.
Maybe.
I wish you weren't. I wish my husband were still alive, even under the circumstances you believe. Maybe I wouldn't be on the verge of a nervous breakdown, trying to hold on to my sanity. Maybe I wouldn't be crying alone at night.
You have my deepest sympathy, Mrs. Markey, for everything you're going through.
There's no use at all in trying to talk to you, is there?
Not unless you care to tell me where to find your husband.
Good night, Mr. Dollar.
I left the house and turned down the dark road toward the Pompano Beach Hotel. I'd planned to pick up a taxi there, but after that unknown visitor came to Mrs. Markey's door, I'd made a slight change in the plans. Whoever it was hadn't been a stranger, that I was sure of. She'd been too nervous when she came back into the room. It was someone she hadn't wanted me to know about, and I was pretty certain I could guess who. Evening, Mr. Haynes.
What? Oh, you're Mr. Dollar, the insurance investigator.
Mind if I come in?
Well, all right, sure.
You, weren't asleep, were you?
No, I was just reading.
Been here all evening?
Yeah, sure I've been here. Why?
You haven't been out in the last half hour?
I said I'd been here all evening.
You weren't down the road at the Markey place a few minutes ago?
No, I wasn't. Now, look, I've answered just about all the questions I'm going to you or to anybody else. So what are you trying to get at? What's the point?
All right, forget it, Danny.
Sure, forget it. It looks like you're out to try the same thing Wilson's doing, trying to tag me on a murder rap. And you're trying to drag Edna into it, Mrs. Markey. Oh, she told me how you talked to her last night. And I suppose you've been over there again this evening.
Oh, relax, Danny.
I'll tell you one thing right now. You better leave her alone and stop trying to push her around. She doesn't deserve it. She's had too much of that kind of stuff as it is.
Oh? From whom, Danny?
From Markey, that's from whom.
She tell you that?
I suppose you'll claim she's lying. You think everybody is lying. But you don't know her like I do. She's a sweet kid, Dollar, and she's had a raw deal out of life.
Such as?
Markey. The way he treated her, things he made her do. Oh, not when anybody would see it. Pin it on him. He was too smart for that. But she told me about it. And there were plenty of times I could hardly keep from smashing him in the face.
Oh, brother, she's got you really set up good.
What do you mean by that?
If you talked this way to Wilson at the DA's office for 2 minutes, he'd slap a murder indictment on you so fast it'd make your head swim.
I didn't kill Markey. Hating a guy is one thing, but I didn't kill him.
Yeah, I know. Because he's still alive.
Well, maybe he is. I don't know. All I know is what I saw out there that morning.
And you saw only as much as he wanted you to see.
Well, maybe so. But I'll tell you one thing. If he is trying to pull something crooked, he's doing it on his own. She's not in on it.
It'd be a little hard for him to collect his own insurance, wouldn't it?
Maybe he figured to get it away from her afterward. I don't know what he might be planning on, but I know she's got nothing to do with it. She's a great girl. I've never known anybody like her before.
No, I don't imagine you have.
I'd lay down my life for her if it ever came to that.
And I imagine that's exactly what they were counting on. Good night, Danny. Expense account item 16, $1.90. Taxi fare the following morning from my hotel to the courthouse. I got there at 9:30 and went over the case with Jim Davis, local counsel for the insurance company. And at 10 o'clock, the hearing on Wilson's petition was open in chamber session, Judge A.G. Campbell presiding. Judge Campbell kept the proceedings informal, and the whole thing moved pretty fast. Both sides presented briefs, and additional evidence was introduced through verbal interrogation. No witnesses were called. By 10:30, the cases for both sides had been completed.
Very well. There is no further evidence of fact or rebuttal. The court will make its decision on the evidence at hand. Now, in cases of this nature, where it is requested that the fact of death be established by legal declaration, it has been generally held that the substantiating evidence for said request must be essentially unchallengeable. The precedents in law are too numerous to bother citing. Now, in the case we are considering here, it seems to the court that the substantiating evidence is far from unchallengeable. In point of fact, it would seem that the bulk of the evidence indicates that William Markey may indeed be still alive. Now, the court would be powerless to act even in the face of a reasonable doubt. And the contrary evidence here is a good deal stronger than a reasonable doubt. Therefore, in the matter of the request made herein that William Markey be declared legally dead, it is the court's decision that the petition not be granted. If new evidence becomes available at some future time, the petition may be resubmitted. The court is adjourned.
Well, looks like you won, Mr. Dollar.
I told you what would happen.
I sure do hate to see that kid get away with murder.
Oh, forget it. Markey is walking around somewhere just as alive as you or I.
Well, we've all got a right to our opinions, Mr. Dollar. I say he's floating around out there in the Atlantic somewhere.
That's what he meant for us to think.
Maybe so, but
Pardon me, Mr. Wilson. A message was phoned in for you, but they wouldn't let me in the courtroom.
Oh, thank you, old man. Will you excuse me, Mr. Dollar?
Sure. Go ahead and read it.
The minute I step out of that office, somebody's bound to start calling. Well.
What's the matter?
Mr. Dollar, the Coast Patrol hauled a man's body out of the surf about an hour ago. Been drowned.
So?
They got a quick check on his prints. It's William Markey.
Now, here's our star to tell you about the final intriguing episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, a dead man tells a tale, but not the tale he was meant to tell, and thereby hangs the wind-up. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by Les Crutchfield, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
But the wind-up on our next episode is not going to be as easy as you thought. March 1st, 1956, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. Would you please thank this radio station and support their advertisers? It's their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around. Visit my webpage, classicradio.stream, for more information about building a classic radio collection and getting in touch with me. That's classicradio.stream. You can also hear our programs on demand, not only through classicradio.stream, but iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, even Amazon. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That's me, Wyatt Cox. Tell all your friends that great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.